Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Unity Lodge. We have the distinct honor of honoring one of our brothers for 50 years of masonry. So think about what you were doing 50 years ago. I was running around, climbing trees, catching horny toads. So, 50 years is a long time, and it is a real pleasure and it is a real honor of Unity Lodge to be able to do this evening. I hope you all had a wonderful dinner, and at this point I'd like to introduce to you the Right Worshipful John R. Heisner, Senior Grand Warden of the Grand Lodge of the State of California, who will be our Master of Ceremonies for this evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brother Marshall, please escort the honoree and his wife to the lodge room.
Right Worshipful Sir, I have the honor to present our recipient of the Golden Veteran Award, Worshipful Donald Taylor and his lady, Lee Ann.
Well, welcome to the two of you. Our friendship goes back so long ago that I am honored to be here and be a part of this with you. Brother Marshall, please conduct our honoree and his wife to seats prepared for them. Please be seated. I am particularly pleased and honored to join you this evening for this Golden Veterans Award presentation honoring Worshipful Brother Donald R. Taylor, Sr. The year was 1965. Lyndon Baines Johnson was president, and the Dodgers beat the Minnesota Twins in the World Series. Julie Andrews had just starred in an iconic movie, The Sound of Music, and Muhammad Ali knocked out Sonny Liston, shouting to the world, "I am the greatest." The University of California at Irvine opened its doors that year, and you could buy gas for 31 cents a gallon. It was also an age of civil unrest, as riots swept across the country and the war in Vietnam started heating up. That same year, a young man by the name of Donald R. Taylor, Sr. wandered into his local Masonic recruiting station and submitted an application. Little did he realize what he was getting himself in for. He began this long life's journey, and tonight, each and every one of us are privileged to recognize the first 50 years of that journey. Brethren and friends, It has been a custom among the Grand Lodge of California to present to those brothers who have attained a minimum of 50 years of membership in good standing the Golden Veterans Award. This honor is presented only to the select few who have reached this point in time by their own volition and, of course, at the will and pleasure of our great Creator. The most worshipful Grand Lodge of free and accepted Masons of the state of California has noted with gratification that Worshipful Donald R. Taylor Sr. has been a member of a regular lodge of Masons for 50 years. At this time, we shall have the pleasure and privilege of bestowing upon him a visible token of our fraternal love and appreciation. And now, in accordance with the teachings of our institution, let us first invoke the blessing of God. If you'll please rise.
Supreme Grand Master, ruler of heaven and earth, we thank you for the many years that you have granted to our brother. We thank thee for life, health, strength, and the daily provision of thy providence. Grant to our brother many additional years of life. Be ever near to him. Sustain and comfort him. Lead him in thy ways, that he may have happiness and friendship all the days of his life. Amen.
So
mote it be. Please be seated. Our worshipful brother was initiated and entered apprentice Mason on February 9th, 1965. Passed to the degree of Fellowcraft on April 22nd, 1965, and raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason on May 25th, 1965. Those were a busy few months, weren't they, Don? He is now a member of Unity Lodge number 632, Joseph L. Shell Daylight Lodge number 837, and San Diego Lodge number 35. Brother Marshall. You will conduct Worshipful Taylor and his wife Leanne to the east. My brother, in recognition of your having been a member of a regular lodge of Master Masons for more than half a century, and by direction of our most worshipful Grand Lodge, I am honored and privileged to present to you this visible token of the fraternal love and appreciation of your brethren. For those of you in the audience that can look up to the picture in front of me, that is what the 50-year pin looks like. I actually have one here, but if I were to hold it up, you couldn't see it nearly as well as if you looked at what is on the easel in front of me. My worshipful brother, this Golden Veterans Award is but a small token of our esteem in which we have held you and the affection with which you are regarded. The gold color in the pen is used to signify 50 years of membership. The blue face alludes to righteous conduct, as limitless as the vast expanse of the sky, which is so necessary to maintain that membership. The square and compass and the letter G etched on its face are recognized as an emblem or insignia of our Masonic fraternity. Now at this time, Brother Marshall, do you have the pen?
Yes.
Can you assist Leanne in affixing the pen to Worshipful Don's lapel? Certainly many important and successful and even famous men have seen fit to adorn themselves with our beloved square and compass. But only a select few, a tiny fraction, are ever entitled to wear the coveted and prestigious Golden Veterans Award. It is emblematical of that purity of life and conduct which should be displayed by Masons whithersoever dispersed. It is a badge of merit and distinction which will cause your brethren to recognize you as one who has long been devoted to the ideals of this institution. That beautiful pen, we know, will be worn by you with pride. We sincerely hope that you will wear it with pleasure and honor to yourself as well as to the fraternity. Brother Marshall, you will conduct Worshipful Taylor's wife to her seat, then conduct our worshipful brother to a place between the pillars, and when instructed, conduct him once around the lodge, stopping at the altar while I provide a brief summary of our brother's life. My brother, when you entered the temple 50 years ago, you stood between those two pillars, which represent the spiritual and material composites of our very nature. On top of those pillars are two globes, one representing the earth and the other the heavens. The one representing the heavens reminds us of God and from whence we came, and the one representing the earth of that which we eventually become, based upon the lives we choose to lead. Only by a belief in a supreme being and the desire to do good works for our fellow man were you able to continue your journey through Freemasonry. Because you dedicated yourself to 50 years of Masonry, there is no doubt that you have led a well-spent life. Therefore, be blessed and receive your heavenly reward. Brother Marshall, you may begin your travel. Don was born in San Bernardino on April 24th, 1940. His family moved to San Diego in October of that year. In 1942, he moved to Pacific Beach, where he still resides. He attended elementary school, junior high, and high school, all in Pacific Beach. Don met Leanne in the 10th grade, and they became engaged when they were 16. He graduated from high school in 1958, and Don and Leanne were married in June of 1959. They have 2 daughters and 1 son. Daughter Dawn Grog, daughter Deanne Sirac, and son Don Jr. He has 5 grandsons: Kit Jr., Jason, Kyle, Stephen, and Ty. 2 granddaughters, Randy and Michelle, and 2 great-grandsons, Christopher and Cash. Don served in the United States Marine Corps, both in active duty and reserves, from 1958 through 1965. He worked for San Diego Gas and Electric for 40 years before retiring in 1998, and then worked for Southwest Power from August 1998 until June 2003 before retiring for good. Don's Masonic history is lengthy. He began his career in DeMolay and as a senior DeMolay received his first degree, as previously mentioned, was passed to the degree of Fellowcraft and raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason, once again on May 25th, 1965. And the important part about that raising was it was his own father-in-law, James Rogers, a past master of Mission Bay Lodge, number 771, who raised Don to be a Master Mason. As you can see from the dates that I provided you, Don did all of this work and became a Master Mason in just 3 months' time. Don served as master of Mission Bay Lodge in 1983. Since that time, as we all know, Mission Bay consolidated with Claremont and became Old Glory. Old Glory then consolidated with Normal Heights, and we now have Unity in more ways than one. Don is a life member of Unity Lodge, a member of San Diego 35 and Joseph L. Shell Daylight. And in 2006, Don received the Hiram Award, the highest award that can be given to any Master Mason. Don served as Associate Bethel Guardian of Job's daughters for 4 years, where his 2 daughters are past honored queens. Don is a life member of the San Diego Scottish Rite. And for several years, he served as classroom captain and was technical director for the stage crew for 5 years. Well, I remember those years, Don. If it hadn't been for you Scottish Rite ritual probably never would have been seen. Don received his Knight Commander of the Court of Honor in Scottish Rite in 1991. In 1999, he was invested with the rank and dignity of Inspector General Honorary of the 33rd degree and is an honorary member of the Supreme Council of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite for the Southern jurisdiction of the United States of America. Don is a proud member of Albar Shrine, York Rite, and National Sojourners. He is a member of the Southern California Past Masters Association, San Diego and Imperial Valley Past Masters Association, Eastern Star Point Loma Chapter, and the Royal Order of Scotland. And I could go on and on. Don served in the Youth Order Committee for 8 years and the Masonic Homes Committee for 4. He was appointed as Assistant Grand Tyler in 2001 and served in that role until 2004, when it was his honor to begin a most distinguished service to the Grand Lodge in his capacity as Grand Tyler. That journey lasted from 2004 to 2013. And I have it on good authority. Our Grand Lecturer, Jack Rose, that Don was the most outstanding Grand Tyler in recent memory who has ever served our Grand Lodge. He and Leanne always made sure that setups were completed. Paraphernalia was made available and schedules were met. He was simply known as Mr. Reliable and continues to this day to serve an example to all of us with his profound humility. Don, with pleasure we behold you before the altar of Freemasonry. That altar which you were taught to approach 50 years ago. There you assumed obligations designed to make a lasting impression upon your mind and memory, and to serve as an uplifting and ennobling influence upon your life and character. Well, again, you have approached the same altar of Freemasonry, but this time to commemorate the well-deserved recognition that comes only to those fortunate brethren who have labored upon the temple faithfully for half a century. Within the radiant pages of the great light which rests upon Freemasonry's altar, we read again and again of the blessings bestowed upon that man who is privileged to walk humbly with his God through a long and honorable life. In the Proverbs of Solomon it is written, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased." 50 years ago, you remembered your Creator in the days of your youth. Today, we commemorate the completion of your half-century of Masonic fellowship. In a span of 50 years, each Mason gives of his substance. Many give also of their time. Others add loyalty and steadfast devotion. But to all of us, our gentle craft gives far more than we could give to it in a lifetime of service. Thus, when we pay tribute to you on your golden veteran anniversary, we also pay tribute to the fraternity, which opened its portals to you and which made it possible for you to build your life upon the sublime principles it inculcates. On a memorable occasion 50 years ago, when the badge of a Mason was placed in your hands, you were admonished to wear that spotless apron with pleasure to yourself and honor to the fraternity. Thus, I trust you will so wear the Golden Veterans Award. May you wear that emblem in health, happiness, and prosperity, and may your days be long upon the land which the Lord God hath given us. May the joy of this moment abide with you always, and may you ever stand as once you stood, a just and upright Mason, worthy to be known as a child of God. Brother Marshall, you will escort Worshipful Taylor to the east. The brethren only will please join me in saluting our brother, Worshipful Donald R. Taylor Sr., by the battery of 3 times 3, following my lead. Together, brethren. Brethren, behold your newest Golden Veteran Award recipient. Don, you can't see this certificate that was behind you, but it is the certificate from the Grand Lodge of California, signed by Most Worshipful Russell E. Charvonia, Grand Master of Masons in California, and Alan Kazaloo, the Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge. And I'm going to read it. The Grand Lodge Free and Accepted Masons of California, in recognition of a minimum of 50 years of Masonic membership, this Golden Veterans Award is presented by Grand Lodge to Donald Ray Taylor Sr. That is you, isn't it? Who was raised to the sublime degree of Master Mason on May 25th, 1965. With the gratitude, congratulations, and best wishes of the officers and members, their hope is that our fraternal bonds may be strengthened with each passing day. And I know that you'll have a special place in your home for this certificate in this beautiful frame that your brethren have provided for you. And now that we have you up front and center, Worshipful, I hope that you will bless us with a few words.
I want to thank Brother Warren as being marshal and pushing the chair around for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Worshipful Hal Scott, thank you very much for being chaplain.
Welcome.
And I want to thank you. And I also want to thank Steve Baumgartner, the master of Unity Lodge 632. and the Lodge for putting this on this evening.
Our pleasure.
And especially I want to say thank you to Most Worshipful Mel Steins, past Grand Master of California, and his wife Betty for being here this evening. I appreciate it very much. Also, I want to thank the Right Worshipful John Heisner, Senior Grand Warden, for doing the ceremony this evening. Thank you very much. And also I want to thank all the brethren, ladies, and friends who took time out this evening to be here for this ceremony. And I appreciate it very much that all of you are here. At this time, I'd like to introduce my wife of 55 years, Leanne. Again, thank you very much to all of you for being here. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Before I turn this over to your worshipful master, I do want to add my own remarks. I have had the opportunity and pleasure to serve the Grand Lodge for several years now. I don't recall exactly how many, but it seems like for each one of those years there was always Don and Leanne. That was until just this year. And you two are missed. We miss you badly. Oh, there's other people that can come along and do the job, and there always will be, because none of us are irreplaceable. But that special heart that you had and that special connection and friendship kind of transcends the job. We became the best of friends, and that is the most valuable gift that you ever gave me. Aside from the opportunity to be here and preside as Master of Ceremonies over the presentation of this Golden Veterans Award. And now, I would like to return the program to the hands of your master, Steve Baumgartner.
Thank you, Worshipful. Brother Marshall, would you please escort Worshipful Don Taylor's wife, Leanne, to his side? Leanne, I'd like to present this bouquet of flowers to you as recognition of all that you mean to us, our Masonic family. Thank you very much. This concludes our ceremony for this evening. I wish you and I invite you all to come up and congratulate our worshipful brother on this fantastic achievement. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming.